Hi again, everybody, and welcome back to another live sci-fi model action on the bench hangout. We've got a great panel of modelers with us tonight, having a lot of fun working on our kits and kicking around tips and tricks about our model building. So we're going to get right to it like usual and start off with introductions for our panel tonight. And first, we've got Armando de la Cabada from down in Florida. What's going on tonight, Armando?
Hey, boy. Everyone's doing, I hope everyone's doing great. I'm Armando de la Cabada. I live in South Florida. I run a small channel called DLC Model Builders, and tonight I'm working on my, continuing to work on my Akira, the 1-1000 kit for the September build at SFMA, and I'm happy to be here. Here's what I'm doing soon.
All right. Glad to have you on with us, Armando. And back from the great beyond, we have Bob Busking with us tonight. How you doing, Bob?
Hey guys, how is everybody tonight? I'm Bob Busking. We're just west of St. Louis, Missouri, and now that we're back on weeknights, you'll probably be seeing more of me.
All right. Glad you're back with us, Bob. You've always got something interesting on your bench. And we've got Ian with us tonight. How are you doing, Ian? Might sound a little bit more now.
I'm Ian from Denver, Colorado, and tonight I am working on the NX refit 1/350th scale.
Oh, you got the kit.
I got the kit, and I had a video last week, and it didn't upload until the upload failed, and I couldn't get to the computer that uploaded it until today. So I only have a new video out there, a big unboxing and everything, but that's what I'm working on.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll check it out. Very good. Well, we'll get to see some of that here in a little bit, hopefully. And then we've got John Swaller tonight. How you doing, John?
I'm doing good. Thank you very much. Here to show off the finished product of the Stinger. You get around to it.
All right. Well, everybody's got to have a modeling or a nickname in modeling, John. So I think we'll go with John the Stinger Swallow now.
Billy Joe Bob would be just fine.
Yep. Love that model, though. I love the cockpit, and wait till you guys see the pictures when he uploads it. It's beautiful. He spent a lot of time getting that just right. And we've got Shannon Freeman with us tonight. Shannon, what are you working on tonight, bud?
Oh, I just got it done.
Oh, all right. The Space Seed.
Nice.
Yeah, I did my homemade weathering on that thing on the Botany Bay.
Oh, great. Well, you've got to show us a little bit more of that here in a little bit. And we've got Tag from California. Looks like it's still light out there. We're getting darker early and earlier here, Tag. Is it happening there?
I have the curtain closed, but yeah, we've got about another hour till sunset.
Very cool.
Well, I'm Tag, yeah, like I said, from California, and actually, the last couple of weeks I've rearranged everything. The OCD took over, and I needed to put everything away and reorganize everything to get ready for winter. So everything is clean. There's no models except for some HO stuff I'm working on for Dad. But I put everything away, and I've got. See, I bought a 3-foot by 8-foot solid core door this weekend to make a new bench out of in the garage. So that's what I'm going to be working on this week. Yeah,
Can you adjust your camera a little bit? You're a little fuzzy.
Yeah, you're blurry.
It goes in and out, and a lot of it's because of the light. I can't get it to stay because it's one of those like $30 Microsoft cameras. So I mean, no matter how much I try to get it to focus, it'll go back out because of the light. If I turn the lights off, it usually
there you go.
Pretty good.
A lot better now.
Yeah, any kind of light though, it blurs out. It doesn't know what to focus on. So, but I redid my desk. I had an L part to this desk that I got a couple of years ago when I bought the desk. So I put that on, and that's what you can see here. So this is where I'll be able to do that, and then my monitor and everything's all over here now.
Nice.
Plus I put it by the window so I could get some natural light, because that's always better than any artificial light. So it's coming along, but it's going to take me another week before I can drag all the models back out again.
Oh boy.
Well, it's good to have a nice place to work.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the OCD just took over. I mean, I had stuff on this desk, and I couldn't even see my coffee table because I was about hip deep in stacks of models. So I was just like, okay, it's time to clean everything, reorganize everything. I even started breaking down all my kits because I have like 2, 3, sometimes 4 of the same kits. So I break them all down and put them all into one box, so I don't have just stacks of boxes to try to save some space. So
I've got plenty of room on my shelves here, Tag, if you feel like shipping in the box. You can only build so many models in a lifetime, you know. You might as well not have 3 or 4 of them. Let some other guy.
That's true. That's true. Well, I mean, obviously, I get them for the kit bashing because I haven't really wanted to take that step into recreating resin. You know, getting one part and then creating a mold and do the resin thing. I may do that later on, but for right now, I'm just sticking with the model kits. Plus, I troll eBay a lot. I find really good deals, and I can't pass up a good deal.
I hear you. I was trolling this week and actually bought something too that I probably didn't need, but I had to have it. But I'll talk about that in a little bit later.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I think we've all been there and done that, and keep doing that.
And keep doing that, yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, thank you, Boyd.
Let's talk to our friend Ralph Tenaglia from out in Boston. See what's going on the East Coast.
Winter's coming. Old man Winter's showing his face around here. It's getting cold. But, yeah, I'm Ralph Tenaglia. I have a company called Tenant Controls, and I'm here to answer any questions and see if I can help out in any way, shape, or form.
Always glad to have you here with us, Ralph. And I'll mention we've also got Clarence Smith, who's watching and says, "Hi, everybody. Looking forward to seeing what everybody is building." So glad you're on with us tonight, Clarence. And you guys know me. I'm Boyd Crompton, the host of the Hangouts here, and we also operate the Sci-Fi Model Action online forums. So you guys that are interested in building sci-fi models, you can stop by and check out our community over there at www.scifimodelaction.com. We've got a nice, friendly forum over there with a lot of guys building different sci-fi models and sharing tips and tricks, and we have a gallery to put pictures of your stuff, so hop on over and check us out. I'm going to go back over. We got, before we go to our On the Bench section here, let's introduce Eric Hawkins. He's up in Maryland, I believe. How you doing, Eric?
Yes, how you doing? I had to kill a couple of people. I don't want to tell you what I did with the bodies, but...
Eric, I've been wondering where you were. I thought after I met you at Jersey Fest, I haven't hardly seen you since, and I thought maybe I made you mad or something.
No, you just made a bad impression. Once you meet the God, you know, it's all let down after that.
It's all downhill after that, huh?
Yeah, it was just a question of Saturdays and Sundays usually like my longest days, and God's no telling what those kids are going to do. Go to work, call out for work, be in a bad mood, don't want to work. And I pretty much solidified my role as a jack of all trades there, so I get shifted all around to cover.
And Eric's a hard-working guy. Well, we're glad you're on with us tonight, Eric. And let's go over to Armando now and see what Armando's got cooking on his bench. Take it away, Armando.
All right. Well, for the past couple hours, I've been continuing work on the starboard nacelle for my Akira. Mainly sanding and doing putting and seam work, my favorite part.
My least favorite.
Yeah, and this thing's got horrible seams and it's a very poor fit. Couple of things. This joins up in 2 halves. A thick half, which you can see is on here, and then a very thin half, which is very prone to warp and do all sorts of nasty things which mess up your seam. It also has a clear insert on the inside, which I glued with some hot glue. Put my camera on so I don't get it out of the view. Okay. Which I glued on the inside. I've got everything masked off now so you can't see it because I'm getting set to do some painting. But I put a nav light in the back. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a nav light there. I put a beacon in the front, and the nacelles have the plasma Bussard effect that Ralph sells for his E. They look really cool. Take my word for it. I can't show you right now. And it's got 2 chiller grills, a big one here and a small one here. Everything's masked off. I I had to do a lot of grinding here. This kit, as most resin kits are, it's kind of got some fit issues. So in order to get this thing to fit as close as I could, I had to do some grinding with my Dremel tool on the inside to get it to fit really well. And then the other tip that I would suggest with this kit is I glued this part first with CA glue and held it in place, and then when I knew it was dry, I lifted this part up and put some more CA glue around it and then pressed it down and held everything together with clamps. Otherwise, what happens is the CA glue dries so fast that it forms clumps and separates the two halves, making it terribly bad with the fit. It happened to me the first time I tried. I had to take it apart and do the whole thing over again. So it's been a lot of hard work, but finally I think I got most of it all seamed up and ready to go. I had to add some holes to the and some trenching to get some extra wires out for all the other stuff that I added. This is the wire that comes with it. It's just 4 wires, which obviously I'm going to have to use for the plasma Bussard effect, which is a 4-wire attachment to the board. But these are for the nav lights and for the strobes, and what I did was I drilled a hole down here, and then I trenched along the edge here, and then drilled over here, and then I puttied it all up, covering it, and sanded it so you don't see the wire. And this wire emerges from here, and all this stuff is going to get covered up with this. Let me see if I can show you. It's a complicated kit, that's for sure. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like that. There. So that's the starboard side. This the saucer goes up here, and it's taken me, I don't know, about 3 days to work on this nacelle alone. And now I've got to turn my attention to the port nacelle. And I better do a video for that one because I didn't do one for this, and I forgot. I got into a groove, so I'm going to have to do it. But that's what I've been working on. Boring stuff, but very bread and butter, you know, a lot of seam work, a lot of sanding, a lot of putty work, and hopefully now the paint will take and it'll look good. I have to figure out how to mask off these 2 little beacons, though. I guess I'll use some glue or something before I paint, because otherwise I'll paint over them. But that's what I've been doing.
You mean the LEDs? The LED lights?
Those are not LEDs. Those are actually little fiber optic nubbins. They're 1mm fiber optic tips that I mushroomed and then stuck in place. Underneath there is an SMD.
Okay.
And it works great.
You got mask all, right?
Yeah, they'll mask, but with what?
I mean mask all, that liquid mask? Mask all?
Liquid mask. No, I don't have that. I know some people have used it, but
you can also use
like glue will work.
Elmer's.
Yeah, Elmer's will work. You can also use rubber cement.
Yeah, I got some Elmer's. I'll try that.
I would use white glue.
Mask for like $5.
Instead of rubber cement.
All right, Armando. Well, thanks for showing us that. That's going to be a beautiful model, coming along really nice. And let's go to Ralph. Ralph said he was a little bit pressed for time tonight, so let's get Ralph up here first. And what's going on in the world at Tenant Controls, Ralph?
Well, we're winding down the big projects, the custom stuff, and which is good because now I can start concentrating more on those 1/1000 scale lighting kits that we were talking about a while back that Eric was kind enough to let me borrow to do the R&D on. So let's see, we have the refit, we have the Reliant, and the NX01, I believe, right, Eric?
Yes, sir. And what's just say here? You need a Battlestar? Is this the movie is Battlestar?
Yeah, well, that's right. There's a lot of rumblings for that too.
Which one?
Oh, they're looking at the what is that? 37-inch one? Was it Randy Cooper type one?
Oh, that Sawzall. Well, you better tell them right now they got to do a lot of drilling for that.
Hey, I'm just gonna come out with the lighting, the intelligence stuff. I mean, I'm not gonna build a ship. I feel bad for you guys. Look at all, spend hours and days and weeks sometimes making everything look months,
years, lifetime.
You guys are gonna be my age before the sucker gets done.
I just don't like that model. That's a tough shit when it comes to lighting.
So yep, and then I'm redoing the thing flying saucer. I got the lights in and it's all set up, but I'm going to restructure the way the lights work to make it a little bit more of a crisscross effect, more like we do with the Jupiter 2 fusion core. So
this is the
what's
Kirk
that?
Russell. This Kirk Russell the thing.
Yeah, that's right. That the show Carpenter, and so that we'll redo that. We can use the same control and everything, just the way you reconfigure the banks of LEDs. So that won't be too much of an issue to do. Just some rewiring and things, and then we'll send it off to Mr. Boyd to paint, and we'll see what it looks like when it's all complete. And
I can't wait to work on that, Ralph. That's a cool model.
Yeah. Just I know you were busy with other stuff. I didn't want to throw too much at you. And I appreciate all the work you're doing with bringing these things to light and making them better and adding things. That will be good to see how it turns out when it's all put together. I'd be interested to know how you guys do. That's a resin kit. The best way to glue that, because when I drill those holes in the circumference of that upper and lower saucer section, I use hot glue to keep it together, which is fine. Like I actually made a video, an instructional video what I did, and the hot glue is great to keep everything together so you can drill it. But I mean, what do you guys end up using for final glue that doesn't come apart on that resin stuff?
CA glue.
Yeah.
Boy, and let me tell you, if it's something that hasn't been painted, like it's raw resin, and you glue it together, it's not coming back apart. You'll have to break it to get it apart. I mean, you'll break the parts.
With CA?
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable how it bonds on that resin. Way better than styrene glue does.
It's like bonded, chemically melts together.
Yeah, it's just like welds that resin together. Yeah.
Well, that's pretty much what I got, guys.
All right, Ralph. Let's swing back over here to Bob Busking, and he's working on his bench tonight on something there. What do you got going on, Bob?
I'm working on a tiny machine gun right now.
Tiny what?
I'm working on
machine gun.
1/35 scale M1 Abrams tank.
Oh.
And
we're going to 50 caliber.
This much represents about 200 parts.
Oh wow!
Oh.
So far.
With that
I think they call it an M60 now, Eric. I think that's what they call the 50 cal now, is an M60.
Oh, they're doing. Oh yeah, that's right. Just switch over there.
We were talking earlier. This smoke grenade launcher has 32 parts in it for the 8 tubes and the mount braces.
Wow.
But it's a great kit. I mean, it's just the parts are so tiny and there's so many.
Who makes it? Tamiya?
This is Academy.
Academy. Wow.
Yeah, I like their kits. They got good detail on their kits.
Yeah, Academy makes the best Titanic model too in 1/350. Really nice.
The neat thing about the kit is this kit that I got didn't have it, but it's set up so you could make it RC if you wanted to. All the stuff in it, all the geared drive and everything in the kit. Yeah, it's real good. I haven't been here in a while, so let me get up and I'll grab a couple things.
That had to hurt.
It did.
Wow, that Klingon cruiser just moved.
That's the last time I was
It just moved. There's
Yeah,
a
the
time
kids are
slip.
always
There's a time slip
troublemakers.
somewhere.
Since the last time I was on, we now have the shuttle 747 completed.
That makes for quite a nice display there, Bob.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
It
How about
does.
How did the chase plane turn out?
Yeah.
Well,
He's like, wait,
And
I
he's
got
for-
those over here.
one stack of stuff over there I finished.
Well, you had to get that 1,000 build you're supposed to be working on.
I am working on it.
Oh yeah, there's
Nice.
the chase
Yep.
plane.
Really
There's the
looking
chase
nice.
plane.
Looks real good.
I got those done when I finally got the parts in from Revell. I got the converter plane finished.
Oh
Nice.
wow. Ah, look at
That's
that.
a nice scale too.
Classic 50s technology.
What scale is that?
30-second scale.
30 seconds. I like that.
That
Man,
bubble
you have to give me
canopy
one.
on the front is a dead giveaway for 50s or 60s. I love
Yeah.
Yeah,
it.
it's like 1956 or 59 is when they
Yeah.
came out with these.
Who made it? The Sikorsky or Huey?
This was originally an ITC kit, and then Glencoe Models bought the molds and redid them.
Oh, I mean, who originally made the?
Oh, McDonnell
Okay.
Aircraft
Oh,
Corporation.
Yeah, I like
That
that.
was what
Double
it's
canopy.
McDonnell then, but yeah.
I love the pusher prop on the back of the hull there.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
was the one time it had the speed record for a helicopter because it would go 200 miles an hour.
Wow.
They disengaged the vertical rotors and ran it on just on the prop and the wings. And then
Didn't Godzilla destroy a couple of those?
possibly the X-Men had one in the comic book.
Yeah, because it looks really, really familiar.
I can't really call that a helicopter though. I have to call it a V-stall.
Last but not least, we have the protector finish.
Yeah. Got that one finished up. That looks great.
Done.
Is it done?
Power supply in, or otherwise I'd light it up for you. My 9-volt battery went dead.
Is it done, Bob?
Everything but the base. I have no clue what I want to do for a base on it yet.
Okay, because you know the first time I met you, you started at. So
I know. This was the November detailed build last year.
yeah.
But yeah, I got where I wasn't happy with the way the lights were coming out, so I just got frustrated and put it away, and then got it back out.
Yeah, there is no shame in walking away for a while.
It was either that or throw it against the wall.
Exactly. That's why there's no shame in walking away for a while.
But if you throw it against the wall, we could have came up with something very interesting.
Eric, not everything is about squashing and breaking things, okay?
Well, sometimes I cut and add on.
And just the problems that had to do with the red lighting kit. The red lighting parts are not clear, so you got to cast your own. And then right in the middle of the engine, inside is a structure to hold the wing together. So you only get light to half of the engine. Some little rigging going on. So that's kind of what put me off, and I finally just got it worked out and finished.
That
So
sounds
that's
like a
where
few resin kits I know.
But I finally got it worked out, and everything looks good and finished and done, and I just got to come up with some kind of base for it. I may just get a Polar Lights dome and set it on that. That's what I'm working on right now.
That's a nice build there. All your work is really nice, Bob. Enjoy seeing the pictures you post of your work on all the various forums. We've got a quick comment that came in before I get the next guy on the panel here, guys, from Clarence. Boyd, tell Ralph when I asked Mike Salzo what do you recommend one use for gluing the Battlestar Galactica together. He uses both CA and 2-part epoxy. He found the best to use. He also used JB Weld when he mounted his gas pipe on for the base stand. So he apparently used a big thick rod of some kind to mount the model.
Well,
used JB Weld for that. That's
well,
good, strong stuff.
Yeah. If you want to look at the best build I've seen of it, Brad Hare did a build on it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and he shows nice constructions, and he shows you where he drilled out for the lighting, and also for what he had to change on the resin to make it work, and also, like I said, 2-part epoxy and CA glue. He used both of them. He tells you where the best place to use which. So if you, so Brad did a nice build up on that, Ralph. If you want to take a look at that.
Yep, for those of you watching out there, there's another good YouTube channel on called Brad Hare Productions, and Brad's a constant model builder. I follow him on Facebook too, and he's never not building a model. I think he averages about 2 or 3 models a month at least.
Oh man, he's more than that. He's an addict, man.
Yeah, he usually has the latest models that come out too that he's working on. So some interesting stuff to see on his YouTube channel, and you can follow him on Facebook as well. Okay, let's move on to Ian now. And Ian's been working on the NX01 refit, the brand new 350 scale conversion kit. So we're all interested in seeing that, Ian. What you got there?
Well, let's see. Didn't get it until last Thursday, and I haven't had a chance to work on it from Thursday night until now. So this is as far as I've got. But I gave you for the first time on internet, as far as no, the first slided 1/350th scale NX01 refit secondary wall, and that's as close as I can get to the camera. I'm sorry.
Nice. Where did you get that from?
JT Graphics, but he sells for, I think it's Howling Wolf Production.
Oh yeah, I know JT. I didn't know you was working on that.
Yeah, that's going to be really cool.
I'm going to give him an angry call for not telling me about that.
Wow, you're already getting it lighted and everything. Man, you've been really rocking on that thing, Ian.
Yeah, well, my goal is to have it done for the September build, but I don't know. We'll see. I got the let's see. There's the deflector or whatever impulse crystal thing. I don't think you can see it. Can you see any of that? Anybody see any of that?
I can see some of the lights. I can tell you've got the deflector painted on it, but it's a little bit pixelated.
Yeah. Well, it's the silhouette. I'll post a video or pictures of my thing and on my build thread, but I used. I'll rip it open there. There we go. Now you can see on the inside there it's all lit up. And I just used 4 segments of LED tape on each side. I don't know if we'll be able to do this either, but so I got
looks good.
one big strip on the bottom, and then one up here on the neck, and then another one up there in the neck. So, and then I got one in the impulse crystal down there. So, although I don't know why I put a whole strip for one impulse crystal, I should probably just replace that with an LED. But then I'll also have just a regular LED up for this window back here because it's way too thick to have it be lit by everything else. So I'll have to have one specifically sticking into that window. Let's see, I got.
Ian, a quick question about that. Are all the Windows ports already opened up on that mold, or did you have to do that yourself?
No, unfortunately they drill them all, but it's actually not too bad. The only one that's kind of difficult, like I said, is this one in the rear, because it's just, I mean, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but it ends up being about that thick as opposed to all the others. But the others are pretty well defined, so I just took 3.
Use the robot to drill through it?
Yeah, I used the robot's sword to drill through the...
Yes, actually. But now with my pin vise, I just drilled 3 and then cut the in-between. It worked really well. These are just perfect size right here for whatever drill bit I had. I have no idea what size it is. I don't know if you'll be able to tell from that. And speaking of which, there's the NX refit deflector, or the Columbia style. That's I painted all these in all clads, so they should have a nice shimmer. What else? There's the.
Yeah, I like that. That's classic Star Trek for sure.
Yeah.
And I'll probably go around and paint the little aluminum details or whatever, silver parts that are supposed to be on that, and maybe give it some. Otherwise, it's just a big copper piece, and I don't think that's as interesting as having, some little details and stuff in there. I was going to light it from behind, but this thing ended up being really thick, and I didn't think I had enough time to really do that. And I could have lit it from the very center, but you still would have seen the LEDs unless I came up, put some precisely cut diffusion, and I was just like, I got 7 days left. What else? I don't know.
Well, I got a solution for you for that real quick. Just on those micro SMDs, just drill like 3 or 4 holes straight through, and then just pull them right through there and just leave them in there. They'll shine lights from the back of the dish, and they'll shoot out bags around a little.
That is kind of a cool idea. You could have those slightly recessed in those holes, and then just put out these little nice halos behind that.
Right. That's what I had originally. That was my secondary idea. But the problem is, it's just at the angle where you would still see them. Like they're not hidden. I don't know.
Nah, unless somebody like really gets in there like this, I think it'd be just fine.
We never knew if it was supposed to glow or if it could be backlit. I mean, we never saw the ship.
Never saw the ship, so
you could get Doug
latitude there, Ian.
If you really want to know, give Doug Dressel a little chat. He'll tell you.
Well, there's no technical official model of it. I mean, there's all these different variations. Like, for instance, there have been 3 different color schemes. One that's just the silver, and then one that's that light gray. And then they get the options, and now they have this version, which has a combination of both. It has silver, and it has a light gray bridge, light gray nacelles, and then a light gray secondary hull.
Ian, get on Facebook and get a hold of a guy named Doug Dressel. It's his model.
Yep, I know, Doug.
Just drop him a quick line. He loves to answer questions.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, at this point, I've already picked the hull colors, especially since I had 7 days left. I picked this light gray. Put some iridescent Aztecs on it just for fun. Give it a little spritzy.
Yeah, that'll be neat looking.
Yeah, because I would have went with the gray just with the Toss Enterprise, made it close to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Well, I think it's implied, you're going towards POS technology, so it's going to be a POS paint scheme, but yeah, that's kind of where it is right now. My big challenge, of course, figuring out how to mount the base, because this neck goes right where the round 2 base would have mounted. So basically, you have to mount it pretty much right. Let's see, right there, which is right in the middle of the steam lines. And I have to come up with something to, be a.
Where'd you about how far back from the deflected dish?
Yeah, this piece right here. That's where the mounting hole. That's not in the kit. I had to mount it and just drill it yourself.
Yeah, let me see it sideways. Yeah, you still may be a little front heavy. Front heavy. Yeah.
About where the.
If you all just put a little weight in the back of the engines.
Yeah.
Boy, disappeared.
No, it's like bam.
And you can mount. We showed something a couple videos back, Ian, on mounting a model like that with a rod and a piece of wood inside. If you mount a piece of wood in there and kind of shape the bottom of it so it sits really nice in the bottom of that hull, and you epoxy it, it's not going to go anywhere. It'll be super strong. The model won't lean at all as long as you use a tube that's not too thin that flexes. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. So that was kind of the plan I came up with.
Then it can still swivel too.
Precarious position, right on the line, and then.
Well, that also comes up with kind of how big your base is. So if you do something skinny and short,
Right now, I'm just going to use ground.
Yeah, that could be a problem. That could be a big problem with that ship.
Yeah, the front may just make dive.
Yeah, on a narrow base.
I don't think the diameter of that's big enough to hold the weight of the model.
No, it would.
You can easily find out, Ian, when you get close to getting it, if you can mock the model up, just kind of carefully hold it up, and try to balance it, put your finger underneath of it, and you can start, telling which way it's trying to tip until you get it in the general area. That's the center of gravity, and that's where it'll be best to mount the model from if you're worried about it, tipping like that on a small base.
Well, interestingly enough, when I did my ISS Avenger, the stand mounting this post that we put in, we didn't really secure it very well with like these little extra, structure pegs. So mine did end up blowing out. So I made a new one with a similar method, except I used styrene plastic and like bonded the crap out of it to there, and then like coated it and gave weld, so it wasn't going anywhere. But something happened and it got moved and it kind of ground out some of the inside of it. So now the ship sits ironically like this from here. So I'm hoping it'll still be, it'll still. I don't know what I was saying. I was saying something and then I got off track.
I'm thinking you're going to need something at least 14 inches long, and going on at least half the saucer, going back, starting on the midway point of the saucer, going back with 10 inches wide, just to play it safe.
Well,
that's
then the
rectangular.
This is about where the stand hole is on the 1/1000 scale one, so my other kind of guide.
I know, but it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird when you go from different scales. The center of gravity will move, even at it's on the 1 point. It will shift around.
Well, the fortunate thing is the hull and everything's plastic, right? Only that right there is resin, right?
This and let's see. You don't use any of this anymore. This all is junk. All these pylons are all resin pieces. The pylons that come down here are resin pieces. So it's pretty much that entire back section is all resin stuff.
Then it actually might work then. Now that if the hull's plastic and the rest of it's resin, it may balance perfectly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was it. Even so, you can still make some adjustment with adding weight in the engine itself.
Sure, definitely.
What I did, Ian, to help keep it from leaning is on this protector, I epoxied in the brass rod here into the ship. The wire's coming out, and the stand have the next size brass rod up. It just fits. So when you thread the the wires through,
Well, that's a good idea.
it makes a tight fit. I get my wires to go back through the hole now.
Oh, so you've got a shaft inside a shaft.
Right.
So it's totally shafted.
Double shafted.
Yeah, you can use that bigger diameter tubing like a bushing.
Right.
You know they say shaft is one bad mother.
I mean, just one is the size. I actually had to stand the smaller one just a little bit to get it to fit, and that drops down in there. And other than it spinning around, I can hold the thing sideways and it's still.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. I like that.
It's a good setup.
That brass rod goes about halfway down the side of this shaft. So it can't wobble. It goes all the way up to the ship. Top on the pocket in, it's not going anywhere. It'll fit on its axis. Down. It's not going anywhere.
That's really cool, Bob. Okay, let's move on to John Swaller now and see what John's going on his bench with.
What's up, guys? Let me grab the finished product here, and because tomorrow morning it's going to a new home.
Oh boy!
You know what, John? I fell in love with that model so much. I'm going to give you $100 for it. Is it still going away?
I'm sorry?
I said I fell in love with that model so much I'm going to give you $100 for it.
Actually, that's probably what I'm going to get for it.
Okay, 150.
If I, thank you. If I knew what kind of issues I was going to be having, and I lost 2 major components here, and I was kind of disappointed in that. I mean, almost to the end, and ended up losing the all the fiber optic flashing type things. Zoom in here and get this.
So, do you think
I
the fiber
just
optic
did a
went bad?
post about an hour before the show too, and
You think it's the fiber optics or the lights that went bad?
no, I think I probably hit a wire and shorted it up.
You doing the shrink wrapping?
I'm sorry?
Shrink wrapping.
I'm breaking up a little bit.
Did you shrink wrap it once you did the ends of the LEDs?
Once it was together, there's no. I'll basically destroy it to get back in there, you know.
Just my icon.
I know you're going to do the next one. Try shrink wrapping all your LEDs once you get them connected. Just do a little shrink wrapping. I think that'll save you next time.
Well, what I think I did was I probably hit it with the without a resistor on it, because I did have it hooked up to a power or a switch to turn it on and off. And when I took the switch off, I think I forgot to put a resistor on it, and when I touched it, it was gone. Other than that, there's still plenty of green and red and blue in here, and big old red. Big old red SMD for the little monitoring screen, you might call it.
That's really cool. Beautiful job there, John.
Yeah, it still looks great. Well, I like those engines.
Yeah.
Got the little flickering effect in there. Can you see the starfish?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You got some fiber optic on them. That's cool.
Yeah. I tried weathering the base. I can't really see it very well. I'm sorry. But yeah, man, she turned out really nice. So I'm really happy with that. The button underneath, all I did was put the wiring from the bottom. I put that what is it? Tight bond wood glue, and they ain't coming out. And he didn't want to see the buttons on top, so I put it on the bottom. And all you gotta do is kind of flip it up a little bit and give it a little hit, and you're good to go.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
Really good.
And I got the little plaque for it right here. Well, not a plaque, the name plaque. Boy, my little thing for getting the what do you call it?
Yeah, that's cool. Tells you what it is. Yeah, you painted that up real clean. That's nice.
Well, from a distance, it doesn't look bad. But yeah, I tried my technique with the wax, and I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. And I mean, the sides turned out. The yellow was, that's like 3 coats going back over with a nice brush. And other than that, I'm moving on to D.
All right. Looking forward to that, John.
That'll be another year down the road.
Which version, John?
Oh, we're patient. Let's talk to Shannon now.
Shannon's
doing. Shannon showed us a model there when we first started that he finished up. Let's see that one again, Shannon. Oh yeah, the Space Seed. That's a nice little model kit.
Little botany bay on there with the.
Yeah, I like that. I love that little bracket they had on that too. That's really cool.
I thought it came mounted to the ship, or mounted to the ship.
I had to paint this thing black so it blend in with everything.
Yeah, it looks great.
It was a one-day build. All it needs now is decals.
That's nice.
All it needs. Oh,
anything else you want to show us, Shannon?
My other project's in the closet. It'd take too long to drag out and put it in here.
What are you gonna build next?
Oh, my B. I'm working on my Enterprise B after this.
Oh.
I'm making it the Lakota, and it's gonna have them A Creations decals on it.
So I
Looking
can't
forward to
convince
seeing
you to
that one.
hack that out.
Yeah, I know you look forward to seeing that one. So will I. I get it done.
All right.
Is that the 1,000 scale, the 1,400 scale?
1,000 scale.
Okay.
Not no 1,400 scale, 1,000 scale.
Well, you know, it depends on who you talk to. It's like, it's 1,400. No, it's 1,000. No, it's okay, whatever.
Potato, potato.
Resin it might be 14. This is a styrene, so it's 1,000 scale.
All right. All right, and we've got Tag back with us this week. What you got going on, Tag?
Well, I don't have any models, like I said before. I put them all, they're all stacked in the garage. About a quarter of the garage is taken up with models about 6 foot high.
Uh-oh.
So, but everything in here is clean.
Uh-huh,
So,
for now.
next week I'm working on the garage to get all that done before winter gets here. So,
Now,
that's
Tag,
the extent of my model building for the last couple of weeks.
yeah, Tag, having a clean desk is a dirty word for modelers.
No, I can't deal with it for very long. I mean, if I get into a model, it's one thing, which, I was, but it just, once it gets to a point, and I'm having to step around stuff and over stuff, and
Yeah.
I can't do it for much longer than that, and I have to stop and clean everything.
When you think about hiring somebody to take inventory of your stock, yeah, I know what you mean. Yes, I do.
Yeah, I've already had a few people tell me I have a problem.
No. You have a problem. I have a serious addiction.
Well, I haven't got to the point of getting a storage unit, so I'm still okay.
Yeah, you're still okay. I don't even think Ford has a storage unit.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you get back to work on your. I want to see how that E38 project turns out that you're making into a.
Yeah, that's my. Well, like you can see, when I added all this too, I'm also trying to start doing some video, because I needed more space to be able to do video. So that's the reason why I added the L back onto the desk. And once I get the garage all set up, I'll probably take some pictures of the garage once I get it all set up. At least somebody could look at it and get some ideas of what they might want to do with their shop or whatever.
Hey, Tag, if you need to bounce any ideas or ask me any questions about that build, I'd love to help you out with as you go along.
Will do.
Okay.
And I'd show you something else, but we got to keep this G-rated.
Yeah, we're a family show.
Yeah, it's a family show.
I got a couple things to show, and you guys can see Jeremy made it over here with us tonight. We're going to be doing some work out in the shop after we're done with the show here. So.
Hi, Sir Sans-a-Lot.
What's going on, guys?
Hang out with us.
I don't think he likes me very much. He didn't answer any of my questions I asked him on Saturday.
Eric, there's kind of a weird bug with that questions thing on the Model Shop Guys show. We can't see all the questions. Some of them come through and some don't. Every time we finish, we go look at the broadcast afterwards, and there's like twice as many questions as we saw. But
yeah, I was wondering about his tattoo on his arm since we see it so much. Who is she?
That's his girlfriend.
That's my baby.
All right, guys. Well, we got a couple things to show you that we finished up and things that we're working on. We're going to switch cameras here real quick. If I can do it without killing this thing.
You won't kill it.
Yes, he will.
You think he will?
Done it before.
Oh,
Man.
We just finished painting some parts. We painted the hull on the next refit that we're building, and we got the Reliant. They're all painted up, ready for its first detail. We're gonna paint all the detail on the thing before we seal the two halves together. There's a couple reasons why you have to do that on that build, and then there's a decal that has to go down on top of the BC deck before you glue the bridge on. It's that duck egg blue detail with the little black dashes that go around the perimeter there. If you guys know the detail I'm talking about, that's that's something you have to read in the instructions to find out that that has to go on before the bridge, because there's part of the decal that's underneath the bridge. So we're going to paint the trenches and paint the phaser banks and do all that on it, and but they came out really nice. We did a lot of sanding on the primer, all the way down to 1,000 grit sandpaper, got them real smooth, and those are ready to go. And we've got on the bench, let's show you what we got here.
See, there goes the camera.
Nice.
The treaties.
Got the football already.
This is the Atreides trading frigate, and if I can hold it up here, you guys, this turned out really neat. What we did with the base that it's sitting on. It's got all the hieroglyphics, and painted it to look like asphalt. You guys can see it in the shot there, and we put a bunch of that dust that they have on those kind of desert planets that they landed on all the time. So Jerry made me these graphics right out of the movie. He got a screenshot from the film, and then he made some of his masks for that. So we were able to paint these on, and it's nice and in scale and everything, and really like that how that turned out. And then we've been working on this little charger. If you can see it in the shot here, we just finished polishing out the whole body and everything, and doing all the chrome detail on it. Getting ready to start putting that together. And this is probably the coolest thing that we did. Let me have them real quick here.
It'll be done.
Yeah. I'm going to switch cameras again so I can hold that up for you.
Camera 1 or camera 2?
Yep.
3.
Camera 1, camera 2. Camera 1, camera 2.
All right. There he is. Right way here. Light off here for you. That's our little B9. We got all of his little detail parts on there, and it turned out great. He's got all these little voice sayings.
Hey, Board, what happens if you pull his power pack out? Does he stop?
Nope, unfortunately he doesn't.
Okay.
I always thought that was funny, Eric, that they had that power pack in such an easy-to-get-to obvious place that anybody that wanted to take them out could just reach over and grab that thing. But
oh, that's even with like Data and Star Trek. All you gotta do is run your hand up his back and click.
with all the wires.
Yep.
All right. All right. Well, here's what we've been doing too, guys. This is the our 172 scale U-boat.
Yeah.
And I got probably about close to 10 hours in just this one side so far. If you can see where the light's going through it, I've been taking and opening up all these what they call limber holes in this thing.
Yep.
Water drainage holes, and it just makes it a lot nicer as far as the bill goes. To make that look a little bit more realistic and get those all opened up. These ones down here were the hardest to do. They're like really tiny, but we used our pin vise and everything, and just that and a hobby knife, and just opened them up and got them all cleaned up. So now I'm able to go on to the second side here, get that done, then we can glue the hull together. So that was
Nice.
I'm really enjoying that model. That's fun.
So what are you gonna? You say you're gonna do a mark hull on the inside. Are you gonna just take a center and just chop in fours and just mount it up against there from the inside?
Yeah, it's got to have a slight curve to it, like it's kind of round, like you should see a inner hull in the inside, the pressure hull on the inside of it. There's a couple companies that make an aftermarket inner hull for it if you're going to do all that detailing, but when I took a look at what it was really basic, and I thought, why buy that when you could just easily make it yourself?
Yeah, Plastistruck has some tubing, anywhere from 1 inch all the way up to 6 inch. I'm sure you'll find a good size that you can use.
Right. Yep.
So let's get a piece of PVC and throw it in there too.
I was going to say, there's always PVC.
Yeah.
And toilet paper rolls.
What I plan on doing with it, it's not going to be like a full tube. it's just going to have the sections to where if you look in the vents, you'll see it there, but you know, not the whole model.
Right.
Just cover, you know, the areas where those vents are open, so you can look in there and see that detail. And on the top, I saw a guy where a guy did a build, and he had the he mocked up the scratch built the exhaust system for it, the pipes that go to the outlets for the diesel engines. Because you can, if you look in those holes, you should be able to see them. So they were just pieces of styrene, you know, sprue that he sanded down, and then he did some rust and weathering detail on them and put them in there and made it look, you know, a lot more realistic. So we'll probably do something like that too.
So you're going to add lights to this one?
Well, I was thinking about it. I was actually asking Dave Pashtag the other day about a. I'd like to find a real small, like a coin type battery thing that had some kind of a jack on it that you could recharge it. In other words, so I could leave the battery in there inside the model and have it in its little mount, and then all you do, you know, I'd mount a little jack somewhere that was kind of hidden, and I would be able to plug into that and recharge the battery when it went dead. You know what I mean? I'm only going to run like 3 SMDs. I'm going to run a red and a green for the navigation lights on the conning tower, and then I was going to put one little white SMD in the conning tower, like right above. They have like a small little ledge in there. Used to look at their maps or whatever, and I'm just going to put a dim little light in there for that.
Yeah, they had those. You seen all those little micro helicopters, RC helicopters? That's what you would need.
Boyd, I'm going to put out. I got to go.
All right, Armando.
Okay, take care, Armando.
Nice talking. Armando. Take care, everybody.
Well, you can get with him about exactly the voltage and that, but that's all you would need is one of those little low pod, those little batteries for the RC helicopters, and they got these. And they got the micro jacks already connected to the battery, and the charger's in the base unit. So what you do, you take the base unit, run a wire from the base unit into and hook it and connect it to the helicopter and charge it.
Right.
The batteries is already connected to that. It goes from
yeah, I
base
mean,
unit
I'm thinking with even with one of those coin type batteries, that just with those 3 SMDs, that it would run for a long time on that. I mean, that's not taking any juice at all. And I'm not going to have it on all the time, you know, just whenever I want to be able to turn it on.
I haven't heard of
I don't want to have to take a battery in and out of it all the time either, so I'm hoping that I can find something like that.
Well, that's why you just leave the battery in it, and it's a micro connection to where it is, like if I ran the hall connected to there. And that way you can even have it so that you can pull the wire down through where you have it connected to the base, you know, lift it up and it's in that same hole, since you're not running wires right through it. Connect it that way. When you take it off the base, charge it up, put it back on the stand, it's ready to go with the switch.
Are all those lights on the conning tower?
Yeah, they are.
You know, you might the periscope or one of those rods that sticks up may be the exact same size as the jack to power it. That way you could put everything in the conning tower. You wouldn't have to put anything in the hole or anything.
Right?
I got even better out there. You can use
I thought about having the battery pack and everything in the conning tower tag, and then having the conning tower so like you could lift it off of the model and you know, but the problem with it is the model has this complex rigging that has to go from the front across the conning tower and through parts of the conning tower and onto the rear. So I would have
it's all that railing, right?
Yeah, all that cable and everything is going to be attached on there. And I saw a cool little video where a guy actually found another use for this magnet wire. And what he did is, using the cheap thread that come with, he used this for all the rigging.
Yeah, there you go.
And just super glued it, and, you know, got it tight and super glued it, and then he just painted it, you know, and hid the color that it was. And he said a lot of those, he was talking about how a lot of those kits come with that thread or whatever, and it doesn't look right because it's too hairy or whatever. You know, it doesn't look to scale or whatever. So that was a pretty cool idea. And I actually saw somebody else using magnet wire for something, so that was kind of neat. Saw that on another video.
You might want to look at the easy line too, Boyd.
I've heard of that too, Bob. I've been researching all these guys that are building these things, and I've heard them talk about that product. Yeah.
It comes in different
Fishing
sizes.
line? Is that what it is, fishing
Where do
line?
you get that at, Bob? At a sports, like my store or something?
The only
Amazon.
place I found it, you can order it from the manufacturer, or you can find it on eBay.
Okay. Yeah,
And
I might need some of that too. And
like
is it
bronze.
in black, Bob? Is it colored black?
Yeah, you can get different colors. Rust. The one I got was what did I do? It was not black. It was like charcoal or something like that.
Okay.
Let's see if the guy's name's on it. It's like Bronson's Hobbies or something on eBay. You put an easy line on eBay, you can right to it. And it's like $12 for a roll. 100 feet.
Yeah.
The nice thing is it's like an elastic, so it stretches.
Oh, okay.
So you like super glue at the one end of wherever it's going, and then when you get to the other end, you put a little tension on it and then super glue it. And once you super glue it, it's under tension, so it won't sag.
That's right. Yeah, that's what you want.
Yeah, Eric's right though. You should check out the those little bitty those little helicopters. Because you can probably get one. Yeah, get one for like $20, and it already has the lights and everything.
Yeah.
And it'll plug in, you know, either a DC plug or you can plug it in USB to charge it.
All right. Well, guys, we got a question here from for the panel from another question from Clarence, I think. Yep, from Clarence Smith. Question regarding Englow fiber optic cable. What size LED would you all recommend one should use for lighting 32 strands that are surrounded by a black jacket? The size of the fiber optics would be 50 millimeter. Same would go for the 265 millimeter. So he's basically asking what size LED you guys would recommend using with that type of a setup.
Is he planning on drilling the LEDs and sticking it into the LED?
Doesn't say there.
Okay, well, if he's planning on drilling the tip of the LED and sticking the strands in the LED, I'll get the biggest I can put in wherever he's going to put. If he's going to put the tips of the strands of the fiber optics on top of the LED, I'll try to shave it flat and do it that way, then put a jacket over the ends in the LED.
Mm-hmm. There's also an alternate way you can do that people do where they buy what's called a fiber optic LED emitter, which is simply a little housing that with a plastic cylinder that the LED mounts in one end, and you collect all your fibers and put them in the other end, and then you can put a piece of heat shrink over that. And be careful when you heat that. Just do it gradually because you don't want to melt the fiber, but you can heat shrink the assembly together, and you have a nice emitter where it'll put out equal light to all the strands that are in there.
Yeah, you can.
Strands of that.
If you use white styrene tubing, it's good for it.
Right.
It's already white and it's cheap and easy to work with.
It's gonna turn into the brass rod show, but you get a piece of brass rod. It's big enough for your LED to go into one end, and you put all the fiber in the other, and you just glue the whole thing shut, and you're good to go.
Right. Basically, any kind of tubing can be used for like an emitter or a fiber optic collector.
Even a plastic straw, drinking straw will work.
Mm-hmm.
And you just paint it with tulip glue or something to light block it from the outside once you're done.
Right. So I hope y'all, Clarence, Dave Hashtag just put up a link here for a 3.7 volt battery and charger setup. So I'll check that out a little bit here, Dave. Cool. So yeah.
Yeah, Boyd, I was just gonna say that sounds like the one I used. The guy in Canada is all the top electronic system, and it sounds like
couldn't quite hear what you were saying there, Ian. You were
Someone has a TV on.
What was I saying? Oh, yeah, it sounds like the same guy who I get a lot of my prop electronics from. His name's GM Props. I think it's Prop 000 on eBay, something like that. It's that 3.7 volt battery, and it comes with its own charging thing and all that, and you can just wire it up really easy, and it all is one contained, really quick thing. And I recommend those. Like I said, I use those in a lot of props.
very cool. Yeah. Like I said, I think it would something like that would run those SMDs for like a long time. We're not talking about even having them animated; they're just going to be on constantly. So
yeah, exactly. Probably should
hardly anything.
Yeah, it's just like set up for that little helicopter tag we have. The batteries inside, the charger charge up. You just hook it up to the helicopter. Battery never comes out.
I mean, it can power a 97 LED tricorder for hours, then they should be able to get the 3 LEDs.
Yeah, because you're never going to get a rechargeable corn battery. I can tell you that now.
Well,
Yeah, this one. This is the one. This is the ones I got because it has the opposite rotating blades.
Coaxial.
For the JJ Prize.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
But like I said, it also has the lights, even though they blink. But I'm sure that's just you could probably disconnect whatever's on that board, unless they are actually blinking LEDs. I don't know, but so it's really really tiny. Take the motor out there; it's nothing but a little bitty board with an on-off switch and a plug for recharging it.
Wow, that sounds perfect. Yep.
Yep.
There's plenty of room in that hole to mount even a little bit bigger battery if I can't use a coin-shaped battery too. So that's not going to be a problem.
Yeah, I mean,
Just don't want, like something huge in there, you know.
Yeah. Can you get the battery out of there, Tag, and show them how big that battery is in one of those?
I haven't taken it apart.
Okay, because they're usually about I think the largest one I've ever seen is like a ½ inch wide and about 1 inch long, and that's rechargeable.
Right.
Well, there's always some good information here. Appreciate that, guys. We've kind of gone through all of our works in progress now, so it's time for just open discussion. Anybody have any questions or comments? Anything else they want to bring up?
Yeah, I have John S.
Yes.
I got about your lights and everything. Next time when you do your stinger, you may want to do that like multi-strand 1 LED corner light, like gentlemen, where we just discussing it. Just color the tips of them with clear tamara paint. You know, dip them a couple of times, get yourself a nice good coating on it.
Right. You know, going back to losing my little blinky, I think I might accidentally put 12 volts on it. I'm gonna blow it. And things do happen. Those somebody calls it magic smoke.
Oh, if you done that, trust me, you would know it. It has a very nice smell. Yeah, let's see. Well, I was came across one of my old issues of Fine Scale Modeler magazine. One that I don't know why I didn't read it, but I came across it, and it was showing how you make your own personal showcases out of acrylic.
Oh, that's a good one to know.
I think it's February 2012. I'm not sure the date, but I was wondering, do anybody know where you get sheets of acrylic from?
There's plenty of places to order it online, Eric. I've been looking at some of that stuff in the past. There's lots of places, and I'm not sure. I know they carry plexiglass and Lexan over at like Lowe's and Home Depot.
Yeah.
Order acrylic for you or not?
Yeah, he was using acrylic. I don't know nothing about how to weld or get them to stick together.
Well, they're just there's a special kind of glue that they use, and you have to get yourself a
MEK.
A jig too to make sure everything's square, and it's not easy making something like perfect like that. They have all the tools for that when they're making those little cases and stuff. But Yeah, you have to have some kind of square or something or a little jig made up to make sure everything's going to stay at 90-degree angles.
Yeah, I was looking at well, they give an article. They show pictures of the jig that he used and everything. It looks real simple. It's just matter of make sure when you cut it, it cuts straight, and you sand, and and your end stays straight and flat. And as far as that goes, is that if it's a little off, you can always sand it down
Right.
a little. So
Most of the time with your plexiglass and the other Lexan or whatever, that's pretty much the same. You can just you use a square and you lay it on the edge or whatever, so you got a square line, and then you just scribe. There's a tool. In fact, I have one of the tools here. You just keep scraping over it on the edge, on the straight edge, and eventually, after about 5 or 6 scrapes, you just grab it and twist it, and it just snaps right off, and you get a clean, perfectly straight line. That's how they cut a lot of it.
maybe I use one of my UMM tool.
Yeah. Because I don't think many places actually cut it, like with a saw or anything like that, because it just creates heat and it'll melt or distort it like real easy.
Yeah, well, that's what he used. He used this big old drop radial saw.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
The cool way to do it is you just cut it, score it with like a regular glass cutter.
Yeah.
You take lighter fluid and you put the lighter fluid along the cut and you light it and let it sit for about 10 seconds and you just wiggle it and it'll just come off clean and it'll polish the edge at the same time.
All kinds of cool tricks. Yeah.
Yeah. If you get a they make right angle clamps you can get at the hardware store too, and you clamp those up and you just put the MEK in a syringe. And you just kind of syringe it into that joint and it'll capillary in and lock up tight.
Yeah, I got those. I got 90-degree corner clamps for. I got those already, so.
They actually make a bottle for that to put the liquid in. That has a needle that's not sharp that you use to put down in that groove.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I got fine needles for that, so I got no problems with that.
There's a company right here in San Antonio that I actually found out about years ago when I was working for a company where I needed to use a lot of Lexan and have like acrylic cases and stuff like that made, and they're really reasonable. I've had them make me a couple of acrylic display cases for some of my stuff, and when I look and see how much he can do it for and everything, and it turns out perfect every time. I can't hardly even do it myself and save that much money by the time I buy all the material and everything. He does it.
Yeah, I know. For the most part, if I find someone just
ridiculously
cut it, just to get it cut and ready for me to glue, that would be worth paying a little extra and just save myself on the work. Plus, they would know what they were doing better than I would.
Right. Yep. Some of these outfits, I mean, for something like the size of the one that I've got over my 350 refit that's in my front room, that one was about $100 from the outfit here, and online one that size is like $500 or $600.
Yeah.
Hey,
Good morning, Heath.
Hi, Heath.
Hello, guys. How are we all?
Okay.
Doing great, Heath. Glad to have you on with us tonight.
Not a problem at all. Got something to show you, boy.
Yeah, we'd love
the
to.
Weekend. Here she is. Whoops.
Yep. Half of it.
There's the D7.
Oh yeah, that's the. What is that, Heath? The 1000 kit, the Polar Lights.
Yep, the Polar Lights kit. Yep, just started painting her.
Very nice. What are you doing the scheme as, Heath? The classic battle cruiser gray and green, or a custom color?
I'm probably gonna be doing the grey and green.
Yeah.
Because that's probably gonna be. Actually, I'm gonna do a toss-up between a custom and the grey and the green.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking of actually leaving the neck white and that bit white, but do the engines and I swear to God, they say it's snap tight, but I have to flame and
that he's got to check out. So good night, Shannon. Glad to have you on with us tonight.
All right, Jan.
So
Sorry about
what I'll
that.
be doing is I'll be probably doing that bit grey with the rest of the body and the engines and all that, and then with the vents, like the air vents there, do that white. So it's going to be grey and white bird of prey. Battle cruiser.
Like it. That'll be cool.
If I had the balls, I'd light it, but I don't have the balls.
If you had the what?
Those.
Oh, okay, I
Balls.
thought he said something
It
else.
gives me an idea, guys. I'm sorry, but I am the official goat diver. Okay, now watch.
You know what you're doing.
There's 4 or 5 boxes, brand new, people throw away. And I hate to say it, but you know, LEDs are LEDs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yep, Christmas tree lights.
You can't let those go to waste.
I mean, seriously, I mean, I grabbed them all. And, you know, the glass ones you can't use. These I'd rather not to, you know.
The inverted cone, you know, like Christmas lights
I
were
bet you
really
over the
good.
last year, these guys have thrown a 55 barrel away, at least.
Only a
Well, the book I'm actually reading at the moment is a friend of yours, boy.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, that's a great book.
Yeah, I just got it probably last month, and
Yeah.
I haven't been able to put it down yet. It's brilliant.
Now that's his thing that's really good, or you're a really slow reader there, Keith.
Besides his work that he did on the Enterprise, which is an amazing story on its own, he's had find out that he's lived a pretty exciting life.
Yeah.
Met a lot of famous people. It's very Forrest Gump-like.
It can be like that.
He's met everybody, and he was in the right place at the right time. Pretty cool.
I must admit, I've got to say congratulations, Boyd, for the Model Guys shop. Model Guys show. Absolutely fantastic show. Love it.
Oh, thanks, Heath. Well, send us some pictures of your stuff so we can put it on there. We're running
Boy, my stash is absolute. Well, I'll tell you this much: my stash is absolutely on this side. I've got about 4 or 5 kits. I've got an Enterprise C, 125,000 class, most of them. I've got. This is what I was talking about on Sunday. That one.
Oh, the 350. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I've also got. Let's see, what else have I got? That one. I've got a build.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the one that I'm really proud of, the one that I really want to make good. You've probably made this one too, Boyd. In fact, I know you have.
Oh yeah, the Into Darkness. Yep.
Yeah. That one's going to take some time. This one, I'm going to do a real beauty job.
Yeah, very nice.
And of course, I've still got I've actually got 2 kits of this.
Mm-hmm.
I have been working on this one. In fact, what I'll do is, actually a lot of people I've talked to have loved what I've done with the sources section here. We'll just get it out. Get back in there, you prick. Okay, I've done if you have a look, what I've done is I've scalpeled straight lines into both the top saucer section and the bottom saucer section.
Oh, that looks nice. Nice grid lines there.
Yeah, the thing is, I had a look at the Aztecing parts there. I'm going, nah, that's going to be a bugger to do. So I've got a scalpel and just did the lines and stuff like that, and that's how she's staying.
Nice. A lot of people take those kits, don't they, and they completely putty up the whole thing to get rid of those patterns.
I say leave it.
That's a whole lot of work.
I say leave it.
Yeah.
But I've also got another kit to do in here. I've got 2 different forms of the battle cruiser. I've got the D7, which I'm working on, as you know. I've also got a Star Trek 6 Tanga, which hasn't been built yet. That's going to take me a bit. And I've also got a space shuttle. What one is it? It's the space shuttle on the 1/44th scale. It stands about 1.5 meters tall.
Wow,
After it's completed.
that's nice.
So I've got about a half. I've got a half of mine to just not buy any more kits and just work on the ones that I've got.
Oh, come on, don't be crazy. Now you're talking crazy.
He's take it from me.
That's what we all
Build
do.
the ones you got first.
We're all hoarders. There's no.
Yeah, stop that
Build the
crazy
ones you
talk.
got first.
Oh, well,
Crazy
you know.
talk.
Well, let's put it this way. My wife says to me, when are you going to stop buying kits? I'm saying, when enough is enough. Actually, my wife is very Spock about it.
I will not remind you of what you're planning.
She says, I will not remind you of that which you know so well. And I'm going, okay, thanks, Spock.
Well, I don't promise to you keep writing your own book.
Well, darling, excuse me, when you see a flaming D7, one you haven't built, or a Romulan warbird for that matter, or a bird of prey, come on!
Hey, Heath.
Yes, sir.
I got a wonderful thing for you to do.
What's that?
Plan it so you get a shipment of models in like after your funeral and deliver with your name on it. Tell you what, I still got models coming in.
Yeah,
Where'd Ian go? I want to see him balance that thing on that rod.
Oh,
Ian, where'd you go?
This one, yeah, that can go in the bin. Thank you.
he's still working. There he is.
The
Yeah.
whole raccoons just walked right up front of the garage.
Oh my God! Excuse me, if I can just say one thing, that NX-01 looks awesome.
Well, thank you.
He's got the refit package there going on. That's really neat.
Excuse me. 1350
Just
refit package. Oh, hail! Hail! Well, actually, I have seen the D7 model that Boyd was talking about on Sunday, the 1350, and oh my God, that's huge! I can't believe how huge that was. That's huge.
Heath, the darn thing is made out of solid resin. It probably weighs close to 30 or 40 pounds.
In other words, you couldn't put it anywhere.
I call it my Klingon guitar. I mean, it's that sturdy. You could put some strings on it to go on tour.
Oh, what? You make the neck into the neck of the guitar?
Yeah. Somebody actually did make one of those.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yep.
Hey, so Ian, you find a good center of gravity on that thing?
Yeah. Well, I haven't even put the stand together yet, so that's going to be. I'm going to have to change that. I'm going to have to change that stand.
Well,
Put
he's
that
got
thing on there, Ian. I gotta see this.
Hopefully this won't be in there. I want to electrocute
Look at
myself.
that. Even with just the tape on there, the engines are straighter than they are on the Polar Lights basic kit.
Yeah, it's only 110 volts. Come on, get in there.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It looks like some of these extra pieces were 3D printed because if you look really closely, you can see some striations. But I think these struts right here were re-engineered from the original kit, which is interesting. But it has a really nice fit. The only thing I had a little problem with was this little bottom of the impulse crystal housing thing. It doesn't quite fit in here all the way. I couldn't get it all the way closed, so I dremeled down the sides ever so slightly, which you wouldn't see anyway, but just something to note. It was kind of weird, like the secondary hole wouldn't close with it in there. But boy, these things keep it all up and see what it looks, or test fit it together, so I decided to throw it together really quick. Now, Boy, how did you do your nacelles? Did you glue your nacelles to these pylons first and then put those into the section together?
Yeah, exactly, Ian. I built the back half of the model first, and then when I connected it to the stock NX-01 kit, it's got like two little pegs on the top and the bottom of the stock. And they plug in and they kind of sit in those flaps. when they're lined up right in the pegs or whatever, if you look at the model from the side, the whole back half of the model is down a little bit. So I had a perfectly flat surface. I stuck the model down on it and just took the pegs out of there and glued it and put some tape on top of it and let it dry overnight so it was on a perfectly even, flat surface, and that made it So yeah, there's some strange things going on with the kit, even out of the box, that stuff perfectly straight and all that. But
I ended up making the secondary hull, and then I put the pylons on, and then put the engines on afterwards.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that it was going to be like, crooked upwards. So I'm always like, nope, just look at it from 3/4. Don't look at it head on or directly from the side.
Yeah.
That's one mistake I want to correct on this one. But it's a little bit different, obviously, because now these are 3 separate pieces.
Right.
So.
Oh, that's an awesome kit. I don't care what people say. That's an awesome kit. Oh, I can't. That is unbelievable.
I certainly want to build one. I became a big fan of the NX-01 after building it. I wasn't really that big on it after, until I built one. But the refit version of it is just really cool because you can start seeing the, that it's becoming like the Enterprise we remember.
Yeah. Now, that was the one they were going to use if there was going to be a season 5, wasn't there?
That's right. Yep.
Well, they keep saying that, but they didn't come up with the design until like 3 years after the show was over. So,
yeah.
We'll just assume.
What I got is Netflix is trying to pick it up. Get them to go back into production.
Doug Drex.
Scott Bakula just signed on to do a new series. He's in one of the new
CIS New Orleans.
That's okay. They have 6 months off from that show.
Well, chances are a Netflix thing would only be 10 to 12 episodes anyway.
Yeah.
They just threw them all on the Mirror Universe, and he's dead anyway. So.
I thought there would have been at least an Enterprise movie, at least. Did he pick the Romulan War? That would have been an amazing movie.
Right.
Yeah.
They could have at least made 2 or 3 more episodes, or even the final one they were going to do. They could have at least finished it and not just left it there.
Yeah.
That one sucked.
Stopped. Weren't in Riker and Troy for no reason because we're admitting that you like Next Generation and the original series better.
Yeah. That's true.
That's to mirror darkly. I mean, you have a blatant image of the Enterprise, the classic Enterprise science, blowing up an Exo Enterprise.
Yeah, exactly. It's subliminal. Yeah.
So it's like, even the producers gave up? What the heck?
Right.
And then, of course, there's the Vengeance.
I have to say that watching the first couple of seasons is why I didn't follow through, because the first season, come on, it wasn't that good. After they did the initial launch, when they showed it launch at the beginning, that was kind of cool. But then when I saw the episode in A Mirror Darkly, and then from towards the end of the 3rd season and the 4th season, they were actually getting pretty good. But then that's right when they killed it. So.
Yeah. But then, of course, there's a lot of people who complain, especially in Into Darkness, how they brought the Dreadnought Vengeance in. That thing's bigger than the D.
Oh yeah.
and yet, if people have been asking for kits of the Vengeance, I don't know why, but there's been, especially over here in Australia, there've been people asking for kits of the Vengeance and the new Klingon Bird of Prey, the one that looks like an actual bird.
Right.
But of course.
Well, what's that movie? The one that had the Kickstarter.
Axonar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really liking that one.
Yeah, it looks good.
I gotta go, guys.
Okay,
Take care,
see you,
Tag.
Yeah, the Giants and the Dodgers. It's pennant race.
Hey, Orioles already won that league.
We're into the real baseball season now.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I'll see you guys next week.
Go the Cubs! Go the Cubbies!
Cubbies.
Cubbies.
Now, yeah, I really want to see that one.
I think they'll pull it off. I mean, they've got some obvious players involved in that. You can tell the quality of their what do you call it? Their their first little kind of mini snippet here was really good. I mean, it wasn't like low budget, so
Yeah, no, I mean,
behind
they
it.
do that for the whole movie, just the storyline alone. I just think that's like 3 or 4 movies.
Hmm.
I just love how they're dealing with Garth and Vizar. That whole arc
Yeah.
from the original series. I just love that. That's
I
just,
mean-
that. I mean, come on, the Ares itself. That is a beautiful ship.
Yeah. Oh, I got a friend who's actually making one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Payton.
Hmm.
He did the 350. He's working on the 350 Reliant.
Yeah, he's been he started that build for our Big Spring build over at the SciFiModelAction boards, and yeah, that's cool. He's a good scratch builder. He could probably pull it off.
Oh man, he's good. Man, in fact, I forgot to send him a little care package this week.
It's just so hard to look at like that Axonar, and you see that they have this gaping issue with where they've got this problem where they're starting out telling a story before classic Star Trek, the same problem they had when they did Enterprise, where you have ships that have to look pre-Enterprise from the 60s technology, but yet they can't be, if you don't, I don't want to call the original Enterprise boring, but let's face it, the detail on the original Enterprise, even though she's always going to be one of my favorites, she's low-level detail compared to what all these other ships are now. And so when you look at that Axonar, you see the ships they have at the beginning, and you go, wow, those look pretty cool, and they're really detailed. And then when they show the Constitution-class ship getting ready to come out of the mothball or the dry dock or whatever, you know, like it's their newest, most modern design, it looks like it's, you know, 20 or 30 years older than the ships that they were just showing. So that's kind of a hard thing that they have to do with that timeline. You know, it's the same thing that they had with the Klingons when they made the DS9 episode with Worf, seeing the original Klingons from the television show and asking them, like, what happened to your foreheads, you know? And they're like, oh, well, that's a long story.
It's not discussed without silence.
I really want to talk about it.
Well, that goes into one of the Enterprise episodes when they was trying to do this super Klingon gene thing, like what the humans did, and
with Khan.
Yeah, with Khan. So it's sort of like
their own experiment, and that's the explanation for it. What happened?
Yeah, so that's what I sort of like heard the best way of doing it. And also, what's the guy that built Data soon? Dr. Simmons.
Dr. Noonien Sung.
Yeah. Well, you know, he was into that little gene therapy stuff to make it superhuman also. And when he disappeared, you know, for a long time, you know,
but that begs the question. But that begs the question, because Ricardo Montalban's Khan Noonien Singh, is him. That would make, actually, if you really want to dig deep, you could say that Khan was Noon's great grandfather.
Maybe. You know, you can explain anything in science fiction.
Especially Star Trek.
Yeah.
But as they say, if it's not on the page, it's not on the stage. So
I still think one of the most ingenious stories that I ever heard about Star Trek was during the when they were getting ready to start producing the show, the original show, before they even filmed the first episode. One of the biggest things that the studio was worried about was the budget, and they asked some of the producers, okay, how are we going to afford to land this giant ship on the planet every week? And they hadn't come up with the concept of the shuttlecraft at that point, and even using the shuttlecraft would be expensive to film every episode that you needed to show the miniature of the shuttle and get that set up on the stage and everything. And so it was Gene Roddenberry who came up with the concept of the transporter. Everybody thinks, wow, that was, you know, that's just such a cool modern techno idea, and that's probably the main invention from Star Trek that every scientist would love to be able to make work. And it was simply an idea that Gene came up with off the back of his hand for like a cheap way to save money on the show, where they say, well, we don't have to land the ship every week. All we've got to do is put these guys on these little round pads and throw some lights underneath of it and make a buzzing sound. And they'll show up on the planet down below. Yeah, they're riding down on a beam, and these guys are scratching their heads going, what are you talking about? And they do it on the show, and everybody's like, wow, that's the most ingenious thing I've ever seen, you know. And but it was actually done before, similar to that, on you could see that Star Trek took a lot of its cues from Forbidden Planet. Watch the old Forbidden Planet movie, and you'll see that there's a lot of Star Trek's origins in that film. Even their outfit Federation. Yeah.
No doubt.
Boy, you do know that they transport a molecule from about 10 feet.
Yeah, I've heard that they're starting to, you know, have some success with real basic components and things like that. But yeah, I have no doubt. I've always been a believer all along that mankind has no limit to what we can achieve or invent. And just like I don't believe that, you know, I don't believe Einstein actually, where he says that it's not possible to travel at the speed of light. I just think that his theory falls in the same category as the original people who didn't think we could break the sound barrier.
Right. That's like that line from Star Trek 5. They said the sound barrier would never be broken. They said that warp speed was not possible.
Well, yeah, and if you think about it, you know, all this vastness of space is out there, and you mean to tell me that with everything that's out there, that like so if this is a universal law of physics, in other words, that it's impossible to break the speed of light, that means that like no civilizations anywhere on any planets and any galaxies anywhere can you know, go very far away from home, because it would take thousands and thousands of years to get to the nearest star that's, you know, closest to you. And you can't tell me that all this stuff is out there and that we're never going to be able to do that. I just don't believe it. I think that.
Well, if you take a look from the direction, it takes 4 days from Earth to get to the moon.
Yeah.
And our closest planet is Mercury, which I would not want to be on.
Right.
So close to the sun. But they're saying that it's going to take 5 years in a slow-moving spacecraft to get from Earth to Mars.
Mm-hmm.
They got that down to 18 months.
Well, then they must be using some sort of impulse power drive then.
Well, they got this pulse rocket. Is basically what it is. It sends out pulses of energy or something, and then it bounces out, and it's actually.
It's an ion drive, isn't it? Isn't that what they've been working on?
Ion drive.
Yeah, our word, yep.
I even remember Scotty talking about that on one of the Star Trek episodes.
Ion drive. It's only going to take 18 months.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I agree with Boyd. If people are trying to say that warp speed is not possible, then what's an ion drive? That could be an earlier form of an impulse engine, if you ask me.
Sure. Somebody will figure it out. It might not even come from, like, we've been amazed as a race all in our history, where it's not always somebody like NASA or somebody big like that figures it out too. It could be some guy in his garage.
Like yourself.
And, you just don't know. I mean, so like I said, we've got, if we survive that long, either blowing ourselves up or a natural catastrophe taking us all out. That's why I think it's important that humans should be putting all of our resources into colonization, so that our eggs are not all in one basket. For all we know, we're the only species like this that's on this planet. If we destroy it, or it gets hit by an asteroid or whatever.
Well, here's an even bigger reason to it. End of the century, they're predicting it's going to be 8. How many additional 8? What is that? How many people are 7 billion now? Is going to be 10 billion at the end towards the early part of next century.
Oh, population? Yeah, that's another issue. And resources, and everybody trying to, you know, live better lifestyles and everything. It's putting a huge demand on everything.
And the biggest thing I can think of that would interfere with anybody going anywhere near the speed of light is actually going to be hitting something.
Mm-hmm.
A little pebble to go straight through your ship.
It's like throwing a rock into a pond.
Right. I mean, I mean, basically
Well,
your
in
ship is
theory,
made out
though,
of paper and
in
somebody's
theory,
shooting BBs at you.
in theory, that they're talking about not that you're making some kind of a bubble that you're riding in, and you're actually warping space and not physically traveling at that speed that gives you all the problems with that. That anything that would come with inside of that bubble would be living in real time like the ship itself. In other words, you're inside this bubble. Everything is at your speed, where everything outside of the bubble is, multiplied by so many times the speed of light or whatever it is you're doing. So anything that got inside that bubble would instantly be reduced down to the speed that the ship and the people are actually doing. So it's not near that difficult to create a defensive setup that would protect the ship and stuff like that. Because the stuff that got inside the bubble wouldn't be traveling that fast. It'd only be traveling at normal speeds, and you could. But they talk. I mean, it's all a lot of technical mumbo jumbo, and there's a lot of it not been proven. But all I'm saying is that I just believe that if humans are given enough time, that we will definitely overcome that. And I believe that it's very possible that the people here sitting in this hangout right now, especially some of the younger ones like Ian, that they're going to see in their lifetimes. I really believe that if there's any kind of intelligent life or a real strong possibility of it outside of our planet, that they're going to find it out in that lifespan, because I think they're getting a lot closer to either figuring out if we're a very unique situation here, or that these planets like the one that we're on are fairly common around the universe. If you know what I mean. They're using these telescopes now to figure out the types of planets that are out there, and they're getting a list pretty quickly. That they could.
Oh yeah.
So the chances of somebody else being out there,
Oh, hey, there we go. There's a model kit for you.
Oh yeah.
You already know what their spaceship's going to look like when they get here.
Yeah.
Well, could be
Well,
like.
guys, I hate to do it, guys, but I'm going to have to go.
All right, John. Good having you on with us.
Mr. Fans-a-lot's dozing in the back there, so he's making me tired.
Yeah.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Who's sleeping?
He said you looked like you were dozing.
No.
I must admit though, but if you think of warp speed as a rubber band, I mean, you could just. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you could take it like that from a rubber band point of view.
Right.
Slingshot it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could talk about this stuff and with other people that are interested in it for hours, but we're definitely a long ways off from it. But like I said, my simple belief is that it will happen. But I do think that it's not going to be too much longer that they're going to have an idea, or at least a fairly good scientific basis for some fact as far as what the percentages are of habitable planets that might support our kind of life in the near neighborhood, if you want to call it, a couple of million light years away near neighborhood kind of thing. But we'll see. If you believe in if you believe in UFOs of any kind visiting our planet, then you have to believe that faster than light travel can happen, because otherwise, without it, they couldn't have made it here. The nearest star is I forgot, but I saw
Alpha Centauri.
It would take 1,000 years or so or more to get there at sublight speed.
Yeah.
So unless aliens can travel faster than light, we couldn't have been visited by anybody.
Yep. I don't know if they'll be with one of these guys, but the Vulcans. But a lot of people think there might be someone like that out there.
Yep. Well,
yeah.
We'll see. Somebody will see. Somebody will find out eventually.
I reckon. I agree. I think Ian might see it.
Mm-hmm. Very possible.
Well, and hopefully they're not just like us and they just show up and they're like, we would like to sell you space timeshares.
Right. Yeah. They've turned space into a toll road.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they're 400 quackloos on the newcomer.
We're expecting these wondrous miracles of space and things and dimensions, and no, they have toll roads and construction. So now they have space construction and space
Like
tax.
a guide to the
Tax.
galaxy.
Yeah, taxes is the first thing I see happening. As soon as a lot of people start going off into space, that somebody's going to claim it and say, well, you know, we own this, and then you guys are going to have to pay us so much to use it. And
There's already a state that taxes you if you collect rainwater.
yeah.
Great. You're getting taxed for water now. Oh, that's great.
Well, they're taxing everybody for the air already, you know, with that carbon footprint thing. So
it's almost like, you know, greedy sods. I mean, people who are so greedy, charging us for everything, taxing us for everything. They tax us for roads.
Press Latinum.
if you would stop and think about all the things going on every day, that makes me so glad that we all have a hobby like building these models, because when you get to it, it completely takes your mind off of all that stuff, and that's one of the big, big reasons why I like doing it. I come out in the shop and start working on my stuff and completely tune all that stuff out.
So when do you start that big 8-foot model there of the Enterprise, Boyd?
Well, we're working on gathering up everything, Heath. We're going to be either doing that off of the kit that's out there, or actually creating new molds and going completely from scratch. And so it's going to be a while. Our fundraiser for that is running until November, but the goal of it is to have it finished and completed by September of 2016 for the 50th anniversary of the show.
And what a way to remember it.
And while we're on that subject, I was going to mention this towards the end. This Saturday night at 7 o'clock USA Central Time, I will be on a radio show called The Fringe Radio Show. It's out of they're out of Salt Lake City. They're the name of their station is KTKK AM 630. And I got invited by that group over there to come on and talk about the project, and then also talk about these Hangouts that we do, and our modeling forums, and our YouTube channels, and all that stuff. So we're going to get some information out to a lot of people. They told me the interesting thing about their radio station is that they've got the longest operating AM radio talk show in the country. They've been on constantly for the last 65 years, which is pretty amazing.
That's awesome.
And apparently they have a huge audience, and on Saturday nights they do this show called The Fringe, which runs for 2 hours, and they have people on there talking about things about like pop culture and some of the stuff like we were just talking about right now, and people that are doing different kinds of hobbies and things like that. So it should be pretty cool. We're going to get a chance to talk about the 8-foot model and the project and some other things, and like I said, give some shout outs to the modeling forums and communities that are out there, so the people that might not even have heard of it before will, be able to get involved. And so it's pretty cool. Now, I'm going to put a link up to that. You can go to their website, and you'll be able to listen to the program live, and then they'll archive it afterwards too. So they'll have a list on there, and you'll see my name or whatever. And later on, if you miss it or whatever, you can go back and click on it, and you can play the whole thing on there. So it's going to be pretty cool, and they sound like really nice people. I've listened to some of their older shows, and they really get into talking about this stuff. So it's going to be pretty neat, and I'm honored that they called and asked to do the interview. I had no idea. They saw and heard about the project, and they want to help us promote that. So that's going to be a nice opportunity.
You know what? We had I just had a funny thing go through my brain at the moment. I said, we are just all one big bunch of nerds, aren't we?
Yeah, we sure are.
One big.
There's a lot more of them out there too that don't even know all this stuff going on. We're actually a really small community overall compared to like everybody else, and the more people get involved in the hobby, the better.
Yeah, everybody does something. I mean, there's several communities out there that deal with Star Trek, and there's a group there that deals with cars, trains, boats, and then there are people like myself and everybody else who don't stick with one particular genre and just do what you want to do.
Oh yeah, I mean that's we've been doing all sci-fi on our TrekWorks channel, and the channel has done really well. There's a lot of people that like Star Trek and sci-fi, but we decided to start doing our little model shop guys show because we wanted to show that you know, there's a nice little outlet for doing all kinds of different modeling and showing
Oh yeah.
you can use to do these models. You know, we started doing some of these cars. We're doing some military. We've done some. You know, we've really opened it up as far as all the subjects we're covering. So.
I mean, some of the photos I saw on Sunday were absolute. Some of those guys, they are brilliant. They have brilliant imaginations.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Brilliant imagination. That Corellian freighter.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
That reminded me of a ship that I put it up on the Q&A or the comments. I said it looked like the Ebonhawk, and the Ebonhawk was from a game, the Star Wars game of Knights of the Old Republic, which is what came out before the Old Republic. It looked like a revamped version of that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's why I say I love getting the photos and the videos from people that we can show all the work that people are doing and stuff out there, and it's just, yeah, it never ceases to amaze me, the beautiful
It's amazing what people can do.
work that they do and the new creations they come up with. So, well, guys, we're about at the end of our show tonight. I showed the file in. So I think we're going to wrap things up here, guys. I really appreciate you being here with us tonight. We had a great time. And again, if you get a chance, check out that radio interview we're going to do this weekend. I'll post the link to that over at SciFiModelAction and over on my Facebook page, and we're going to hopefully get some shout-outs to some people out there that have got YouTube channels and things like that, and some of the other forums that are out there, and get the word out. So, but anyways, you guys have a great week. Beautiful jobs you're doing on your models, and thanks for answering the questions from everybody tonight. We appreciate that. We'll see you back next Tuesday night at 8 o'clock for another edition of our Hangout. Until then, take care, everybody. Happy modeling, and good night, John Boy.
We're not nerds. We're extravagant.
I can do it with both hands, Heath, without assistance. All right, guys.
LAP.